What's up, Bone Killers? So I'm gonna be putting this video up probably today, which is Sunday, the 9th, 8th or it's the 9th. Anyways, so this is going with our subject of survival items and budgeting. So today I got up and I went to an auction today, and they so happened to have some knives and guns for sale. And I walked out spending $125 in all, and I'm just going to tell you guys a little bit why I'm starting to think I should do this for most of my survival gear and or guns and just knives, basically. So we get there and we're looking around and stuff. It's me, my mom, my dad, and my grandpa who decided to go. And the one reason why I went to this auction is because I heard there was going to be some guns. So I'm like, let's go. I just bought a gun, which I'll be bringing a video on soon. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm going to just surprise you. But so we go to this auction, and the first thing we do is we crawl underneath a fence, barbed wire fence, because we're too lazy to walk 20 more feet to go around the thing. Damn near tore my hoodie, but, save a little bit of time. So we go, we're looking around and stuff, and I didn't even care about anything up until I seen the guns. And they had about 18 guns. They had a couple handguns. They had a 22 revolver like this big. Thing was so cool. That one for like 125 bucks. They had a 22 revolver that was a little bigger than that. Went for about it was probably 200 bucks. And then they had a Smith & Wesson 357 Highway Patrol. That is a revolver. I believe it's a 40 caliber. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty sweet, and came with a nice holster and everything. And that gun started off at 25 bucks, and within 3 seconds of the guy starting the bid, someone's like, I'll pay 400. And then it got up to 735 bucks. They saved approximately $100 buying it at an auction. And then there was a single shot 10 gauge that went for like freaking almost 600 bucks. There's another 22 pistol that went for about 400. I bid on only 2 guns. I bid on a 410, which ended up going up to 600 bucks. I was done at 3. I'm not spending more than 3 on an old gun, and they're old and they're used. But the very first gun that they started auctioning off was a 12 gauge single shot shotgun. My very first gun was a 12 gauge single shot shotgun. So it looked terrible, guys. Like, it was nasty, and they started off the bid at $75. Raised my hand. No one else bid. Got it for 75 bucks. I'll show you that here in a little bit. So you guys could go get your first gun really cheap. And a single shot 12 gauge is awesome because you can get adapters where you can shoot 22, 9mm, 40, 45, 10, 20. It shoots all those. I think you can get a 20. I'm not too sure. Or not 10. You can't get a 10. You can get a 410. Sorry. But they can shoot all that different stuff, and it's really cool. And it's a great starter gun. It's great for hunting deer, clay pigeon shooting, pigeons. It's just an overall good gun. You could hunt squirrel with it. There's not going to be much squirrel left, but you can hunt squirrel with it. So there's that. And before we even got to the guns, I'm just telling you that because that's the main thing I wanted to go for was the guns. They started offering off all this other shit, old lanterns and stuff. It was really cool. Some really cool antiques there. They had a freaking trailer full of old antique toys that were still in the boxes, tractors and stuff. They went up to, we left before that started going off because we didn't care about that. It was like $700 one of them went for. And that was like one of the first ones, and it was a tiny little tractor like this big. And before that, they were auctioning off a whole bunch of boxes of knives. The first set was two boxes full of knives, pocket knives. They went for like, I don't know, it was like $70. Okay. So I'm like, my parents look at me, they're like, oh, you didn't want those? I'm like, no, I don't really need more pocket knives. Another set, so 2 sets of 2 boxes like this big, full of pocket knives. Okay, goes up. They're like, you didn't want to bid on that one? No, no. Third one goes up. They're like, no, no, don't want to bid. Fourth one, fourth and final one that we knew of, goes up. I put in a bid. I want them. So I got a whole bunch of new knives. There's a whole bunch of the same kinds of knives, and I looked at the value of some of them. They're older pocket knives, and they're worth a lot of money. I spent a total of $60 on my knives. I could sell 2 of them to make back my money, and they're cheapy knives, but they're so old and they're unique that 2 of them out of like probably 50 knives will make back my money, because they're called Dragon Claws and they're worth $300 or $30 a piece. Now, am I going to sell them for that much? Probably not. I'll probably sell them for $10. I'll be nice, sell them for $10. But that's still 6 of them. I have probably 10 of those Dragon Claws, and yeah, that's my money back plus more. This shotgun I could sell for more money realistically, but I'm not going to, because it needs a little work done to it, and I want to do a little work to it. I want a project, and this just so happened to be the perfect little combination. I got a survival. Well, I'm not going to use this for our survival kit, but this is an option. You guys could go to a auction. You don't have to fill out any background paperwork or anything. They do ask for your ID if you're getting a handgun, which we did bid on a handgun because we were as a group, so my dad was going to try to get it. And then we cut out as soon as it hit about $500. We're like, no, it's not really worth that for being that old and used. But guns and knives at auctions are great things. There was 2 swords that went for $15. They had a case and they both went into the sides. They went for $15. There was like I don't know if it's like a replica from like a show or a game or anything, but this sword was sweet. It was freaking awesome. It was big. It had a whole bunch of blades sticking out of the sides of it. That went for about $400. And like on the box, right on the box, it said it was only like $75. Like, auctions are great. Like, they help out people. Sometimes you get highballed. It happens. But I got away with a shotgun for $75. I'm happy. Ammo went crazy though. Like, there was a whole bunch of boxes of 22 ammo. Got up to freaking $100 and some, which is still cheaper than buying the ammo, but I wasn't going to get into a thing and get stuck with it more expensive than needed. They probably had 12. They have at least 12 boxes full of boxes of ammo, and some of it was so old that I'd be worried about shooting it because they didn't look like it was packaged well, so it could be dangerous to fire. But things like that. So I'm going to cut back. I'm going to cut out and I'm going to come back to the actual gun I got. I'm not going to show you the knives, so I'm probably going to do a test on each of them, then give you a review on them, so we'll see about that. But I'm going to show you the gun I got, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I want to do to it, because it needs a little bit of work. I just took it apart partially. I didn't get it all the way took it apart yet, but I threw it back together real quick, and yeah, we'll give you a view of the gun, and I'll tell you about it a little bit. So I'll be right back. So here's the shotgun, guys. Again, this is a 12 gauge shotgun, single shot. I don't know the length on this barrel. I should check that. We are clear, as you can see. I really like it. There's only a couple things that need to be done to this, and I'm going to do it myself. This is going to be the first gun project I actually have ever done and or do. But I don't know if you can kind of see it. There's a crack right here I'm going to fill in. And it's not really needed to be filled in, but I'm going to. Right here you can see where the buttstock, there's some wood missing from it, so we're going to try to fill that in. We're going to re-blue it. So it's got that nice blue metal. And then here, that is cracked. I took this bit off and it's all the way down, so we're going to fix that. Then we're going to give this, we're going to sand this down, give it a nice new coat of... Actually, I don't know what I want to do with this yet. I don't know if I want to make it darker or lighter or what. But I want to, stain that wood some way. And you can see that this thing is just old. It's not like crazy old, but it's still pretty old. See here, it is a Hopkins and something. I can't tell what that says, but it's a Hopkins and something. Something Arms. Made here in good old US. It's a assist eject. So when you crack this open, it's gonna pop out your shell. And I already have a single shot. My single shot actually doesn't have this bit right here. It doesn't slide. Mine actually just pulls back and it pops open. It's actually got a little bit of weight to it, but it's not a bad gun. For 75 bucks, guys, I am not gonna complain. Like, this is pretty sweet. So I'm gonna try to do that next weekend, since I'll have a little bit of time next weekend to do stuff since we don't work Friday. But yeah, that's the gun I picked up. And there was a whole bunch of 22 rifles. Those were, jeez, those 22 rifles, guys, they got so high up in the bids, it wasn't even funny. Like, they were tiny compared to the gun I'm going to show you next week. These were tiny. They're like little kid rifles. I swear, like a 5-year-old would probably be shooting this stuff. And they went for insane amounts of money because you just don't see them anymore. There was a 10-gauge shotgun that went for sale, and they either don't make any more 10 gauges or they don't make as many 10-gauge shotguns. And that shit went for so much money, guys. It's not even funny. Like, I think it was like $8,000 to $1,000 an auction. Which, yes, sometimes guns can be very expensive, but in this case, I got a nice 12-gauge shotgun for 75 bucks. That's a steal, man. I walked up, paid cash, and I left with my shotgun. I was happy. It was good. I am thinking about... I'm not going to put a sling on it. I like to have slings, but I'm not going to put a sling on here. I'm going to put a ammo, a stock, I can't think what they're called. It's basically, goes on your buttstock and holds a couple shells. I'm going to put that there. I might actually change out the stock and put a synthetic one. But I really do like how the stock looks. I kind of want to keep it as original as I can, since it is an older and neater gun. Yeah, we're going to keep it original. We're just going to fill in the cracks of it. We're going to sand off all the wood a little bit, and we're going to put a new finish on that wood. Keep it as nice as we can. And to be honest, this was my first auction, and I'm kind of excited. I looked at my dad, I'm like, we got to go to more auctions. we got to do it. We got to go to everyone we can with guns. Yeah, I was the only one to walk away with something today. And my grandpa was telling me, he's like, my dad and my grandpa took a different way back to the truck than we did. And he's like, yeah, if you would have seen those big Bowie knives and stuff, you wouldn't have left. I was like, big Bowie knives? Oh, man. And I was like, I'm happy. I got a new shotgun. I got a couple pocket knives. I'm really happy. I was going to show you just one of the little pocket knives, because I might have that as like a very, not like a secondary pocket knife, not a secondary knife in our EDC, but as a emergency one, as in maybe the first aid one if you needed to, say you got something stuck in your skin, you need to pop it out, kind of like a tweezers almost, but I think we might just throw tweezers in there. I don't know yet. I always like to have 3 knives, guys. I like to have my primary freaking full tang knife. I like to have a good sized pocket knife, and I like to have one that you could give someone in case you needed to use a knife and they need to use it for a knife for something. It's just nice having, I like having multiple choices. So, yeah. Thank you for stopping in and watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay surviving, Bone Killers.